This is your weekly astrology forecast for Born Without Boundaries. It is for all zodiac signs, and I'm going to take you through a day-by-day, play-by-play of the energies in the sky, how they're going to impact us, and I'm going to provide a mantra after every single overview of each day to help you channel those energies and focus yourself, use the energies in a positive way. Now, this week, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I don't think it's going to be as painful as last week. Last week was a train wreck, and that's what I named the forecast. This week, for me, it feels like this. It feels like, and if y'all as teenagers, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you. But for you old heads out there, over the age of 30, you've already been through it, and your mind is already, calmed down a little bit. You're going to remember those times in your life, and it's going to be this is a useful tool, so I'm just going to start with it. This week, it's going to be a very useful tool to remember all those times in your life when you thought the worst was fucking happening, and you overreacted. Like as a teenager, you thought the worst thing your parents could do was say, no, you're not going out with that person. No, you're not going out tonight. Your homework has to be done. Or you hate the fucking rules. You can't stand them. They're in your face. You feel like they restrict you. You can't be who you are because, and then like a week or two later, you realize it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, I have to go to this family party instead of being able to go to my friend's party. How can my parents do that to me? All kinds of chaos, craziness, explosions, challenges and difficulties that your attitude creates that you did not have to create, because then you get to the family party and you know what? It's actually nice and the food is good and there's dancing and there's music and you can hang out with your cousins, and not only is it not bad, it's actually cool. And what the fuck were you putting up all the fuss about? That's kind of this week. You're going to be held back. By Monday, by tomorrow, Mercury goes into retrograde. That's like 6 planets in retrograde, dude, and Mercury is the key. Why? Please don't kill the messenger. Mercury, remember in terms of the Greek myth and stuff, Mercury is the messenger, right? Well, that's it. Mercury is that inner planet that delivers all this stuff to us. And at this point in the year, when all those bigger planets that really make the universal decisions and the big decisions, right? They've been in retrograde for months. So whatever Mercury is delivering, including all those communication snafus, whatever Mercury is delivering, it's really trickled down from what the big papas have decided. So the inner planets kind of deliver to us the experiences that the outer planets have generated and set up. So don't kill the messenger, because it's really not Mercury retrograde. It's Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde, Uranus retrograde, and then boom, Mercury goes retrograde. I kind of like equate this period, and when I say this period, I mean like the later retrogrades in the year after almost like 6 months of all those bigger planets being in retrograde. This Mercury retrograde is almost like when the messenger finally delivers. It's like when the emails start coming out from the CEOs and there's going to be company layoffs. This is when the emails start trickling in. Does that mean it's a bad thing? Well, it may not be, because you may not be one of the ones selected for layoff. You may actually get a promotion. Things that are dealt out or handed out now at this point are going to be, shit that was bound to happen anyway, right? So it could be good or bad. And even if you do get laid off, could be the best thing that ever happened to you. Really good. It could be like, I know I'm supposed to be horrified. I remember when I get laid off 2 years ago when I started Born Without Boundaries. I know I'm supposed to be terrified, but something in me is like, I'm the happiest I've ever been, right? I mean, what the things being delivered now will expose to you is your truth and the truth about how you really feel about things. And so even though we feel really, really, really like we're like treading water in quicksand, like treading quicksand, it's really not that. I mean, it feels like that, sure. And I would say don't resist, right? Because you're going to exhaust yourself. And if you feel exhausted, I mean, that's going to be like asymptomatic of this time. I don't mean like if you're running fevers and shit, right? Like, but I mean, get yourself to a doctor, right? Always be realistic about that stuff. But you may feel like you need to be kind of slow down and respond to that. Like that's what you're going to need to respond to this week is slow down, because the overreaction and the high tension this week is going to be created by your resistance to slowing the fuck down. It's like honking the horn in the middle of traffic. Who is that asshole? Like, where are we going to go? It's bumper to bumper. Where do you want me to move? You ever felt like that? It's like, why you honking? Why you screaming? Why you yelling? It doesn't make any sense. We're stuck. It ain't good. It's not going anywhere. We're on a 3-lane highway and 3 of the lanes are closed because of a traffic accident. Be grateful it wasn't you in the traffic accident. That kind of energy, right? It's like things are slowed down. Everybody's slowed down. So ultimately, respond to it. Your body wants to respond to it. I guarantee. And it's at the perfect time. This is how beautiful the universe is. It always works on our behalf, right? It does. Fall is coming. The days are getting shorter. The weather's getting chillier. We kind of want to be inside more now anyway. Y'all, I'm not talking about the apple picking. Go get your pumpkins, go get your apples. But I'm talking about it's a natural slowing down period. So all these planets in retrograde are not actually doing anything against nature, right? They're actually kind of flowing with it, right? At least here in the northern hemisphere, we're just slowing down. Let things slow down. And for those of you who are turning into summer right now, like you're in the southern hemisphere, can you trust the process anyway? That's what it is. It's like it's not something wrong. It's something natural. And you got to just flow with it and go with it and let it carry you. Don't fight it. Don't resist it. You will figure your way back to shore after the riptide carries you where it's going to carry you. It's not going to drown you if you don't resist it. That's the kind of energy. Okay. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote because y'all, I like to do it. But I will interject all my little bits and pieces. The overview is this is an interesting week, working on us much like rules on a teenager. They're forcing us to try out different aspects of ourselves. Interesting. Like when the weather keeps you in, and you can't go to that big event or that, because this isn't really a social week. It really isn't. Wednesday opens up a little bit for us, especially in romantic situations, but generally speaking, this is not a very intensely social week. This is a very internal week. And so, listen, what can you do inside? What can you do with your mind, right? What can you do with all these thoughts racing in your head? Start writing a novel, right? Even if you don't want to write. Journal, blog, paint. I put on my roller skates and go in my garage and just fall on my ass and practice moves. Like it's just like whatever you can do in your house, you're being challenged to do. If anybody is a designer, graphic designer, any kind of artist that works in the corporate world or for agencies and stuff like that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because it's like creativity in very strict confined spaces, right? And it's like that actually requires you to be more creative than ever. Because, we have these parameters we have to stay in. It's a different kind of flexibility and mental malleability that's being requested of you right now, but it's a challenge and you can live up to it. You can do this. So they're forcing us to try out different aspects of ourselves. They as in the cosmos, the planets, different possibilities because we're certain we're not happy with what we are experiencing, especially not being held back, and especially in those different areas where we're not happy, but we don't know what to do. It may be difficult to not overreact because we're really just being asked to be patient Yeah, it's not a time for open rebellion, but for quiet ones. Deciding not to settle for what's easy or even what's obvious. With so many planets in retrograde now, it'll feel like we're being dragged backward by a tide. You can get out of the water if you want. Go ahead. You can't fight it, and you'll probably be too exhausted to try. But you'll refuse to get swept away. This energy is designed to force creative juices to flow. What you can't have in your real life could be perfect inspiration for that novel you want to write. That's just a metaphor. That's just a suggestion. We're not all novelists, but that's kind of what I mean is like, these restrictions are actually requiring you to be more creative. More creative. 6 planets are in retrograde by Monday, and everyone will blame it on Mercury, but remember, Mercury is just a messenger. There you go. Hold on, let me say it. Yeah, okay. I don't want to read this all to you. You can read it over on my website. Check out www.bornwithoutboundariestarot.com and subscribe to the blog, please. And you'll get like this, the full annotated version of this weekly astrology forecast. This week will be easier when you find a stimulating place to put your mind. Yeah, Mercury is an inner planet, so its retrograde delivers that which has been decided by the outer planets. It's not to blame, but of course we'll all be like, oh, Mercury is in retrograde, that's why. No, it's because karma is being served the fuck up, and Mercury is delivering it. That's what's going on. A lot of family karma too, guys. Prepare for that. We'll discuss it in the day-by-day, play-by-play, but a lot of family karma. Just shit we have to get through, okay? Sunday, September 26th, that's today. We head into this week much the same way we left last week, contemplating ourselves by issues arising with other people. We're being taught a lot about ourselves through other people right now. And it's Libra season, and that's how Libra learns, through partnerships, through who we are and how we behave in partnerships. Okay, so yeah, we're learning a lot about who we are. We're getting served our lessons by how we can objectively, because it's air sign, so there's mental objectivity here. Clarity coming through that objective watching of how we behave, and do we like what we see of ourselves in those situations, right? What have we learned about our limitations and challenges? Because the truth is, it's not always the other person's fault. Sorry. It's a wonderful day to move ahead by allowing the waves of emotions to drag you under a bit. Just for a second. You'll get your air back. Don't worry about it. But just for a second, allow yourself to shut up and be vulnerable. It's what you have to go through to move forward. Much like a riptide, don't try to swim against the feelings or even to figure them out. They will carry you where they will, and when you have a hold of things again, swim to shore. Remember this, our goal is to grow. Clearly, we're not where we want to be, except for those of y'all who are exactly where you want to be, in which case, good on ya, congratulations, you are an example for us all. Very, very small group. Clearly, we're not where we want to be, at least most of us. But we are getting clear glimpses now of what we don't want and where we would like to be. This is transition. It's messy, no matter how organized you are. But it's worth the experience to understand your own capabilities. Love and romance, finance, and all of these things are going through major overhauls, and we could find ourselves getting information that clarifies our worries. It's very important to not overthink things now, as we will easily feed into fatalistic thoughts when a deep breath could solve so much. So please be prepared this week for for depression and fatalistic thoughts, like overthinking. And this is why I'm asking you to find ways to use your brain in a productive way, in a creative way, because if not, it'll overturn its gears. So prepare now. Prepare now. What takes my mind off of things? Is it getting into my body? Is it working out puzzles? Is it doing puzzles? Is it reading a book and shutting my mind down? Like, what helps you? You're really gonna want to find things that not things that help you think more, because you don't need more of that, but find things that help you use what you're thinking to be productive in, that kind of thing. Mantra for Sunday: the light in me honors the light in you. That's a very yogi statement, but it's very helpful today. The light in me honors the light in you. Through compassion, I see your humanity and offer up mine. Monday, September 27th, Mercury retrograde in Libra. Yes, I have allergies and they're going crazy. Mercury retrograde. Woo! Okay, anyway. It's going to be retrograde until October 18th, and I've discussed this in my dailies. What's important for like this first week is that all these planets are in retrograde. But after that, planets start coming out of retrograde. October 6th, Pluto's out of retrograde. I think it's October 10th that Saturn comes out of retrograde. I'm not sure when Uranus pops out, but I'll check that. But basically, by the time Mercury is out of retrograde on October 18th, Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, because Jupiter comes out of retrograde on the 18th as well. And then I think Neptune comes out of retrograde in November, and December, I think Uranus. No, I might have those flipped. But ultimately, the planets are starting to come out of retrograde now. So we're going to get more direct motion. And it is going to feel good. And it is going to feel like things are moving again. But we're going to be in the middle of winter. Right? Some of us. For those of you in the middle of summer, amen, hallelujah. Finally, especially my Australian friends, it's like you really will deserve this coming out of retrograde and coming out of winter at the same time. That's gonna feel really good, and hopefully there's a lot of improvements or at least decisions that are made to move forward now in that southern hemisphere. But for those of us heading into winter, it's just interesting. It's almost placing us into moving forward, but doing it internally. And forging new relationships, but by whittling down relationships and only focusing on the strong ones. Those kind of things. Anyway. Mercury retrograde in Libra, Monday the 27th. Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus are all in retrograde too. So it'll be a struggle to not drown in the quicksand because you're overreacting and insisting. Today is a day our dreams get in the way of reality, or more to the point, the day we are bruised or caused pain because our fantasies are broken and the reality isn't what we expected. Okay, but the fear awakening, like most of last week, serves to tell us the truth and provide an opportunity for great strength to develop. Mercury and Jupiter in retrograde and the moon in Gemini form a grand air trine. The sun and Mars, right, they're like real close to each other, as well as Saturn and the North Node form another grand air trine. So the aspects of this entire week are great seeing, understanding, and knowing through communication of something that has been suppressed or denied. We'll get the truth. The South Node has a lot to do with this week. So it's like dredging up that karmic past of like dredging up what needs to be dredged up to like get it out of the way, like clean it out. It's like a cosmic house cleaning that's going on now. And most likely we won't like it. Truth is a difficult beauty to see. Our egos often resist it. It's an acquired taste that we're forced to swallow, which isn't very palatable, but that's the point, isn't it? This is another lesson that we're learning on Monday. The lesson is to learn how to serve the truth so it won't taste like stewed Brussels sprouts. Presentation is important for serving ideas in a way that people can and want to digest. Remember, Brussels sprouts don't only have to be boiled, right? I mean, you can saute those bitches with onions and some chicken stock with balsamic vinegar. Saute it up real good, right? You can also like crisp them up with different seasonings and spices. Like Brussels sprouts can be delicious if we know how to serve it up. And I'm not talking about serving the truth in a pretend style. I'm like, when you start getting smacked with the truth, you're going to realize that there's a way that you really liked to be talked to and a way that you don't like to be talked to. And there are better ways to deal with things by seeing how people deal with you, right? We're going to see, like I said, what we don't want in our lives and what we do want in our lives. And a big part of this lesson today is seeing, well, I don't want to be told things like this. There's a respectful way to do this, right? That's the lesson that we're learning today. If we're too blunt, we turn people's stomachs, and then what's the point of that? Well, that's today and really this whole week. It's not that we don't need to hear these things, but Lord, if it couldn't have been shared in a better way. Of course, the news doesn't have to be bad news, right? And if we, and that's the point. It's like, it doesn't have to be bad news, but if you serve it up wrong, it's still gonna feel like bad news, because it's like, you gotta see the Cosby Show episode. I've said this before, where Vanessa brings home her Davnis Bricky. You got to see it. Just go Google Vanessa's fiance not Google, but YouTube it. Bill Cosby does this great, metaphor of how you could take the greatest, most delicious meal, but if you take it and put it on a garbage can, it's not going to be palatable. And that's what we're the lesson that we're learning now is what is palatable. Because if something's really good, you want it served up in a way that shows that it's really wonderful. You don't want it served up in a way that makes you want to, ew. And that's something to be wary of right now. Is the good stuff being served up in a bad way? And is the bad stuff being served up in a good way? So that's what's going to take mental clarity and objectivity to really sift through the good and the bad. Of course, the news doesn't have to be bad. And if we can take our expectations out of the way, sometimes, because that's the key here, our expectations and how we thought things were going to go. And if they didn't go that way, well, then they must be bad. No. We may be very, very happy with what we learn. Mantra, I open my ears and my heart to the truth. I am courage. I am love. Tuesday, September 28th, we're doing some healing today, especially with aspects to our parents. Maybe it's time they said, I'm sorry to us. Not everyone can hear that straight from their mouths because some of our parents we've lost, right? But here is the energy with the moon rolling into Cancer. And I think the moon starts in the 6th house, at least in the northern hemisphere, and then goes into the 7th. So that's healing and then partnerships, right? To settle those issues that have restricted us, confined us, and make us keep doing things wrong. Any issues with guilt will come up now and could bring us down if we dwell in them too long. Now it's important to give yourself those permissions your parents didn't, as in permissions to be loved for who you are, but not permissions to do stupid shit, right? Once again, discernment. Engage in something, create, and that's, let me, brief interruption. That's what's so beautiful about retrogrades. It's like the Matrix, like the scenes from the Matrix where little Keanu Reeves is all floating through the fucking air, dodging those bullets as if they're moving like 1 inch per hour. You know, think of retrograde in that you actually have a superpower during retrogrades. Shit is slowing down so you can be more discerning. And that's important because if you don't resist it, it can help you, like Neo, it can help you resist, it can help you dodge the bullets. Because it gives you more time to think things over. It's begging you to think things over and give more time to think them over. To review this one more time before you slip a proposal to your boss that has a shit ton of typos and makes you look like a dumbass, right? It's giving us that time. So use it. That's the superpower of retrogrades. Engage in something creative to keep your mind active. Learn to dance, go to an art, like one of those art painting cafes, right? It's not the best time to be alone. So make sure you take yourself out and find ways to interact with others. Tuesday, today, share as many smiles as possible. Stay away from extreme escapism like drugs, alcohol, but do engage in creativity. That's escape too, but it's productive. In other words, the way you should be social today, the way that it would really help to be social, like I said, like a dance class or I don't know, a computer class. You're with other people, you can interact, but you're also focused on learning something and doing something, right? That's a really good way to use this energy. So you're not being overly social, but you're not alone, right? You're taking care of that feeling of isolation, but you're also focused on one goal. So you may not be getting too intimate or personable with people, but it's okay because at least other people are still around. Do engage in creativity. That's escape too, but it's a productive form of escape. It's a happy balance between Neptune and Saturn, which is what we need on Tuesday. It's we need that, and it's an emotional time where past family issues will find themselves to the surface for resolution. This needs to happen. It's what Mercury retrogrades are best for. All this emotion could put a serious damper on productivity today. This isn't a huge leap forward time. Don't push, but do find something to engage in that makes your heart happy and keeps your brain engaged. The mantra for Tuesday: I allow my feelings to guide me toward curiosity and creativity. I honor my feelings by applying them to what I can create. Wednesday, September 29th is here. Today is like a steam vent. That's a typo. Today is like a steam vent in a pressure cooker, designed to relieve a little bit of tension. You have been harboring feelings for someone? This could surface today and lead to a whirlwind romance. If this is not the case, you can still expect your sensual feelings to multiply. You'll desire deep connections today with Pluto sextile Venus, especially because Venus is in Scorpio, the sign of taboos and hidden pleasures, also of hidden feelings. Use this energy to connect to friends and family as well. Truthful conversations will reveal many buried emotions with a grand water trine now. This is huge energy right now on Wednesday. This emotional power for cleansing is huge. Now in the sky, expect intense emotional and psychic energy to be rolling into situations that will be intense to say the least. Neptune is in Pisces, Venus is in Scorpio, and the moon is in its home of Cancer. Wow. Oh, Neptune is in its home in Pisces too. The fuck? Venus is the one in detriment, in its fall position. All right. Well, anyway, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Anyway, what I'm saying is this is huge energy. Neptune, Venus, and Cancer. Guys, those are all the sensual planets, the emotional planets, big time feminine energy, creative energy, receptive energy, psychic energy, huge fucking energy. Once that moon hits Cancer, grand trine in the sky, oh my God. And the fact that Venus is in Scorpio is like, why is she there? She's digging up shit, right? Maybe she's trying to hide, but no, it's not going to happen. This grand trine brings us something soft, romantic, and beautiful in the middle of a pretty disappointing time. Love will intensify today, and so will opportunity, because people are more inclined to be open-hearted with their offers. It's a great day to ask someone on a first date or take time for romance in your current relationship. It's also a great day to put in a new proposal or ask someone for a job. People are much kinder right now. Like it's almost like in a very brittle week, all this water energy has come in and kind of like taken that sponge and filled it up with water. So people become more malleable, where if you take a sponge when it's hard, it will break. This water trine has filled it with water, so it's just so malleable and flexible now. And this is a great opportunity to go after opportunities, especially in things regarding love and desire. Doesn't have to be a person that you love and desire. Could be, you want an opportunity, you want a job, whatever it is. It's like, this is a good day to do it because there's this beautiful flexibility happening right now. You've been having difficulty. In fact, that might be just what today is for finally sharing all those repressed feelings or coming out with what you actually desire instead of hiding it anymore. This day could lead to a lot of fall, winter relationships that involve hibernating together. Times of heavy retrograde are made of these moments. Opportunities resolve what we've tried to avoid. Hidden emotions need to come out. And today is the day that happens. It's important to maintain boundaries today, as we're inclined to be overly amorous, but honor the feelings of others and yourself. Mantra: I am love, I am truth, I am aware of my boundaries, I am courage. This is my truth. I welcome yours. Thursday, September 30th, holy moly, family karma and drama arises, bringing out so many emotions that it's best to step out of their way and honor them. This could be a time when circumstances with your mother or your relationship with her, issues you've experienced in the past, or a new relationship you have or you've entered that is recreating. Oh, why was this cut off? Recreating this circumstance to force you to face it and heal the horrible wound it has left. Whatever the individual circumstance, expect that today you will be emotional and vulnerable and being backed into corners because of your tenderness. Being social today is not recommended. Be wary of overthinking and being overcritical today. Having come to conclusions that are based more on your emotional defensiveness than on reality. Let me read that again. You could easily come to conclusions today that are based more on your emotional defensiveness than on reality. So be aware of that. Conversations can get especially tense today, especially where family is concerned. But with the moon in the 7th house in Cancer, like I said, I think that's depending on the hemisphere you're in. It's clear some issues need to be cleaned up. This is a cosmic house cleaning of sorts, where explosive arguments can reveal corrosive thoughts, like things that we've decided because we were hurt and we held on to them, when there really aren't anything at all. There's this episode of The Golden Girls. Y'all know how much I love The Golden Girls. Amen. Sophia's sister, Angela, has come over from Sicily. And Dorothy thought this was going to be a great surprise for her mom because they haven't seen each other in 30 years because Angela was living in Brooklyn and then moved back to Sicily. They haven't seen each other for 30 years. But it blows up in Dorothy's face because it turns out that these two women hate each other. And so Rose and Blanche and Dorothy find out, why do you hate each other? What's going on? Well, it turns out there was a party 30 years ago. There was a party. And they both remembered things incorrectly. They both thought something had happened or had decided that something had happened, when in reality it was a misinterpretation. And if they had just talked to each other, they would have listened to the other perspectives that clarified and not decided what was wrong to begin with, right? That's what I'm talking about. I know that's a dramatization, but it's a very clear representation of what I'm trying to say to you by corrosive thoughts. The corrosive or corrupted thoughts is an incorrect thought. It wasn't even that way. Like lots of times when we're children, we have these traumas that are based on a childlike mind, right? Of, well, mom and dad don't love me because I am this. When in reality, all mom and dad were trying to do was discipline you for something that may not have had anything to do with that. Or if it had something to do with that, then it was just that one time they didn't want you to do it. But your childish mind decided, well, they don't love me because of this. But that's not true. That's never been the truth. But you've always assumed it, and you've based your life on it, and you've made decisions about it. Well, these are the kind of conversations and that need to happen today. And these are the kind of truths that come out. Like, I never thought that about you. I never thought this. This is why I made the decision. And that's why it's so cathartic and healing, but also very painful. And we need a lot of courage to be able to let those conversations happen. Okay? So this is a cosmic house cleaning of sorts, where explosive arguments can reveal corrosive thoughts that impact how you see the world or feel about people, even though they aren't true. We may have to take hits to our ego today in order to clear the air. The moon is in the third quadrant of close family and friends. It's these relationships that will be under fire today and be the conduit by which we learn and heal, because they have to be. These issues have been impacting our ability to have healthy relationships, and it's time that they were cleared out of our way. Big day. Mantra, heal me. Lord, take me into your embrace and love me as I am your child. What I've believed to my detriment must be purged. The pain will purify me. Friday, October 1st. Rabbit, rabbit. Don't forget to say it. Rabbit, rabbit. Happy October 1st. Happy October, everyone. I promise the tension won't last forever. In fact, it should be clear by mid-month, around October 18th. For now, it's school time. Remember, remain observant, even in difficult times. Try to understand your motivations and be compassionate with others. How has our pride gotten in our way? Both the sun and moon are strained today. It feels that what we want to be is just not allowed, and that everything is restricting us. It's like weights are around our neck. Cosmically, this is true. Saturn is opposite the moon, now in Leo, which is a very prideful position, and Chiron is still opposite the sun and Mars. We're being restricted. We're being limited. The discipline is almost too much. Using this energy will feel like forcing down your veggies as a little kid. Life will feel as if all the sweetness has been sucked out of it. That may be just what we need right now to get real and work our butts off, and also purge a lot of that sugar out of our veins. But the longings we experience can show what we really desire. Though it's not a great day for fun and excitement, it's a good day for focus and work. People will be very exacting today, but understand why. Most are experiencing a serious dissatisfaction and desire to rebel against all the tension and restrictions in life. This is an intense mood that will pass. Remind yourself today that these feelings are fleeting, and people's bitchy attitudes are too. Do what Cinderella did when she was locked away in her room, denied access to the ball. She got to work putting together her dress for the said ball. Right? There will be a longing today for what we feel we've been kept from. But that's not the truth. It's all a master plan to motivate us to prepare for what we're really getting ready for in our future. So little Cinderella, locked away from the ball, but prepare for the ball anyway, because eventually that dress that you're building is going to be your wedding dress. And then it'll be ready just when you need it. You see what I'm saying? Mantra, my circumstances don't define me. My reaction to those circumstances does. I am faith and I am tenacity. In moments of restriction, I get to work on the future I wish to live in. Damn. Saturday, October 2nd. Remember the tension? Like an arrow being pulled back before it's released. That's the tension. All that tension. That's what it is. All those restrictions. That's what happens to an arrow before it's released. I'm sure you've seen the meme. That's what it is. Even if we aren't aware of it. Watch out for the return of the exes now, today, a Saturday, or the comeback of those romantic interests we thought we'd gotten over. It's not a good time for relationships in general now, but we may feel so desperate and longing for something to do that we compromise and do it with the low-hanging fruit that's texting us. So watch out on Saturday. The good part about this I'll say, is the moon in Leo, which will catch just how desperate we were about to be and snap us out of it, because Leo is very prideful and very exacting when it comes to, it wants the highest standards. It doesn't want the low-hanging fruit. So it could be redemptive today, like really helpful. Yeah, it's a good day to be social with close family and friends that know you well. You can support each other through this moody period because you've been through everything with them, and they know all your moods and they love you anyway. This is a good time. When the moon is in Leo, it's a good time to be around people who are your pride. Be around your pride, your group, the pride, like the lions, the people who have proven themselves over and over again, and you know each other inside and out. It's like when the moon is in Leo, be around those people. That's gonna really help you, secure you emotionally. All the external pressure today is helping you. You can support each other, right? It's a great day to take in a movie or a theater performance, anything that encourages your creativity. All the external pressure today is helping you to realize what it is you really want. This very exacting moon in Leo won't settle for the crap being thrown at it, and you may even be motivated to action because of what you're not being offered, like the texts from your exes will inspire you to finally reach out to the person you do want. That kind of thing. Or the boredom you're feeling may make you particularly creative in your bedroom with your spouse, or in your art studio. Your inspiration will awaken your mind beyond the bars on its windows. Mantra for Saturday: universe, teach me. I listen and learn. My standards are high. I begin the work on the world I want to see in front of me. Bam. So this isn't the worst of weeks. Okay? And when I suggested go out to like a theater or like, that's wonderful. It's a wonderful way to be social. Like, I think movie theaters are open up in most parts of the world now again. It's a great way to be around people, but also you don't have to talk to anybody. It's true. Let the actors do the talking. Let the performers do the talking. It's like, this is a great way. Go on. Broadway's opening up again. If you're back on the East Coast, enjoy it. It's one of the best experiences you're ever going to have. It's a great day to let the creativity take over. Enjoy it. You're social, but you don't have to talk to anybody. It's a great day for something like that. Yeah. And it's Saturday, so hopefully most of you had the day off and will be able to do that. I love you guys so much. If you really love this video, please be sure to like it and share it on your social media platforms. Don't forget to please subscribe to Astrology Motivation by clicking that little rectangle below, and then hit that bell and select all notifications so you know when I upload your favorite content. I upload daily tarot card readings here, the weekly astrology forecast on Sundays, and of course the Monday astrology motivation chats, live chats that we do, so you can live chat with me here. Always follow Born Without Boundaries Tarot. That's my premier channel for zodiac specific messages. Every single week, 12 messages a week, plus their partner extended readings over on Vimeo, Born Without Boundaries. That's 24 zodiac specific videos every week, content that I know you're going to be able to use. Yeah, check it out. I love you guys so much. If you really want to join me live every day, check me out at Instagram, born_without_boundaries. You can find me over on Instagram and live chat during the daily tarot card readings. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the videos.